Hey YouTube, my camera 1911 here. Got a quick review here with you. One of my firearms. It is a Taurus PT-24/7 double action only, chambered in 9mm. First off, we'll start by safety checking, and as you can tell by that bright yellow follower there, magazine is empty, gun is empty. Okay. Start off by saying that this is the first Taurus firearm that I've ever owned, and it's also the only Taurus firearm that I've ever handled. So I don't have a lot of experience with Taurus, obviously. I can say from my experience with handguns that this seems to be very good quality. The fit and finish is very nice on it. The ergonomics are good on it. The features are nice. Overall seems to be a very well built pistol. Throughout the video I will be comparing it with my Glock 17, basically because that's kind of the the go-to as far as polymer framed guns are concerned, as well as people obviously have a knowledge of Glocks, that sort of thing. They're both polymer framed 9mm. So we'll compare a couple different things and go over kind of my feelings with the Taurus as compared to the Glock. So that's that. Start off by saying that yeah, I like it. Seems like it's a very good quality pistol. The polymer seems very sturdy, well constructed. The slide is nice. I like the beveling on the top of the slide. Kind of slims it down a bit, or at least gives that perception. I don't like the fact that this barrel here is really shiny. I don't know why they did that. And I'll show you when I take it down, but like the rest of the barrel is the same kind of black finish that's on the slide, so I don't know why they made that shiny. I don't really like it. Some people do, I guess, but anyways, so first off, like I said, this is double action only, which means that you can obviously keep pulling the trigger, right? Whereas with single action and stuff, you can't, right? So gives you the opportunity to, if you have a light primer strike, you can hit that again and maybe have it go off. Is it better or worse for double action only? I don't know. I haven't had a whole lot of experience with it. I do know that the pull is fairly heavy. There's a bit of creep, like there's all this play here, right? And then it kind of starts to go. It is like there's an audible reset, which I like, but it's quite a hard pull. Now that being said, this is obviously quite new, so that trigger it'll smooth out a bit, become less kind of gritty with a lot of rounds through it. Yeah, not the worst double action pull that I've tried, but definitely not the best. Maybe a little bit lighter than say a SIG 226, but yeah, I don't have anything to measure the poundage, but it is a little stiff. I'm sure it'll loosen up. Anyways, onto the grip here. So the back here, there's a kind of a bigger palm swell, a little bit bigger palm swell than say a Glock, which I like. I like this. This also has interchangeable back straps like a Gen 4 Glock. I have a 3, so I don't have the interchangeable back straps, but this comes with 3 of them, small, medium, and large. Obviously, this is the medium. Seems to be the one that people use. Same thing with the Glocks. I mean, I've never seen anybody with a large or a small one. I'm sure they're out there, but the majority of the people will obviously use the medium. Important to know about these. I don't have the case here. It's upstairs, but I'd show you the other 2 back straps. But this medium one is the only one that is checkered. There's a nice texturing to it, The other ones, the small and the large ones, are completely smooth, almost so that they're slippery. Now I don't know if I don't know why they did that. I have no idea. Maybe it's because, I mean, I guess if you want a smooth one, you want a smooth one, right? But I mean, you guess you could grip tape it or something if you wanted to. But this medium one is the only one that's checkered, and it's quite nice. Good grip to it. The side of the grip here is has some grooves in it. Feels nice. Has a little Taurus logo there. The front of it is also checkered. Has some good texture to it. It does have finger grooves. They are not as defined as, say, the Glock's finger grooves, which some people complain about. So you might like this better if you don't like the finger grooves on a Glock. I personally don't mind them. But anyways, it has that. Also here you'll notice that the magazine sits flush with the bottom of the grip, which I like. That's kind of a complaint of mine with the Glock, is that you just kind of have this afterthought magazine sticking out the bottom. I like how they integrated it all, and we'll remove it here. You can tell the bottom of the grip here is kind of extended out, right, so that it rides flush with the mag, so which is nice. And the way that this mag is here, it has a little bit of a lip to it, offering maybe a little bit of kind of pinky support, extra grip on the firearm, which is also nice. The trigger guard here, it's slightly more rounded here than a Glock is, which it doesn't really bother me. I like both, I guess. It doesn't do anything to me. But this, I do like that it's smooth, exactly the same as a Glock. That it's kind of squared off. A lot of people like to shoot and kind of hang on to that. So that's nice. You'll like that. My Ruger SR9, that was rounded, and I didn't really like it. I like having a squared trigger guard better. You know, it's large enough here that you can operate with gloves on or whatever. So that's good. Has an integrated rail here for your flashlight or your laser or your bayonet or whatever you want to put on there. so that's good. What else? This has a loaded chamber indicator. There's a little, I don't have a snap cap here, but there's a little red piece here that sticks out when there's a round in the chamber. So kind of a nice feature if you're into that sort of thing. This side, here's your slide release. It's slightly extended, kind of goes up to a peak almost in the middle of it, which is kind of nice. Gives something for you to, you know, you can really kind of hit it with your thumb or whatever. This is your takedown lever. Basically, that's my complaint. One of my complaints about the gun is the takedown system. Definitely nowhere as close to being as quick and easy as a Glock. Kind of almost like how you turn this. I'll show you when I take it down. But anyways, you turn that and you remove that, which I don't like. I don't like taking the pieces out. I mean, you know, there's a risk of losing stuff, and it's always hard to get back together. So, anyways, that's your takedown. A couple pins here, you know, for removing the inner workings of the frame and trigger assembly and that sort of thing. Magazine releases here. It is steel, metal, unlike the Glock being polymer. So good or bad, I don't know, but it is steel. It sticks out a little bit. Has a little bit of extended to it, which is nice. I mean, it feels nice. It's easy to operate. It is checkered a little bit. It's not quite as much as I'd like. You know, I'd like to be a little bit more kind of checkered or grippy there. But it is slightly. I mean, you could always grip tape it or something, I guess, if you wanted to give it some more texture to it. The sights. This is a night sight version. So it has the three dot sights, which, you know, they glow nicely. I mean, they're a nice sight. I have the original, the factory on the Glock, so that's that. But yeah, I like them. What else here? So, one thing I really like about the frame on this is that it has these little indents here for your fingers. You know, finger memory or finger recognition, whatever you want to call it. But anyways, there's little indents here on the slide, which is nice. It has them on both sides. So it's nice for your trigger finger there to kind of rest in there. And this side, if you're a thumbs forward shooter like I am, I mean, it's a nice spot to kind of rest that thumb. Glock doesn't have that, it's completely smooth. I actually put grip tape right there on my Glock to kind of give me a reference there, but anyways, so it has that. The finish on the slide, I'm not sure what it is. It's not the tenifer that Glock uses, I know that. It looks similar. It seems to be okay for durability. I have noticed it's got very little use, and I have noticed already that there are some scratches, light surface scratches and stuff like that, starting, which obviously isn't great. That being said, I mean, I don't baby my guns or anything, but I don't like them looking beat up, especially when they haven't been worked. The Glock, that finish is very durable. I mean, even in and out of the holster, and a lot of rounds through it and all the rest of it, and the finish is still holding up very nicely. So a little disappointed in the finish on this. I like the look of it. The color's nice and that sort of thing, but the finish itself maybe is not as durable as a Glock. Yeah, so that's that. We'll do a quick takedown here, or as quick as it can be, with this. So we'll lock it back, drop the magazine, and I'll show you here. So you turn this lever down, very SIG-like, as I said before, and then you kind of wiggle it out, right? So, and there's your piece, and that's that. The whole thing comes apart. Take a Glock. So you have this same sort of setup. Recoil spring and guide rod. Guide rod is polymer, same as a Glock. Barrel comes out much the same. This is what I was talking about with this coating on the barrel. Why they wouldn't continue it to there, I have no idea, but personal choice, I guess. Anyways, the fit and finish inside is nice. No tooling marks, nothing like that. Looks great. Yeah, looks very nice. No complaints. In the factory box, it comes with 2 spare guide rods and springs. I'm guessing, I haven't tried them out, but I'm guessing they're going to be different poundage. There'll be a different weight on it. Kind of disappointed that it doesn't really tell you about them. It also doesn't mark them, so I have no way of knowing, if this is, a 13 pounder, a 15 pounder, a 17 pounder, or whatever. So I'm guessing that they're going to be three different weights. This is the one that it came with. This is the one that's installed in the gun. But yeah, the other two, I'm guessing, are going to be weights. One other thing I'll tell you, racking the slide on this is a lot easier than a Glock. Not that the Glock's hard, but there's quite a bit less resistance on this than the Glock. Now that could be because of the spring. Like I say, I have no way of knowing what the weight is on this, so it's obviously less than the factory spring on the Glock. So, anyways, but especially for women or getting your children or something into shooting, this is a lot easier to rack that slide. So, anyway, so that's that. The frame here, very Glock-like. This frame is marked 9mm, so I don't know, they must use different frames for their 40s and so forth. Like I said, very Glock-like. You have your steel insert inside your polymer frame. It's a little heavier, not heavy by any means, but it's a little heavier than a Glock frame. The Glock is almost feather-light. This is a little bit kind of heavier than that. I'm guessing because there's more steel to this, there's also kind of a more complicated trigger mechanism, maybe adding a couple extra parts to it with the double action. But there's a little bit more steel in here, and I'll show you. I have a Glock here. So this is the Glock 17, it's a little bit kind of, they're very similar, but I'll show you the main difference here. This is a steel rail on both sides, running the full length of the frame here, right, on the Taurus, whereas with the Glock, you have the same steel rail, but it ends kind of halfway, and then there's nothing, and then you get a little bit more here and a little tiny bit there, right? So there's more steel in this than in the Glock. Good or bad, I don't know. I have no idea. I've never had any issues with the Glock. I know that writing on steel is obviously preferred over writing on polymer, but that being said, they both write on steel, but that could be the extra weight of the Taurus, because it does have a full, more steel right along here on the frame than the Glock does, so that could be part of it. But Looking at them, very similar in working. Obviously, the trigger mechanism and stuff is going to be different, but very, very similar. So that's that. I'll stop it here, and I'll start a part 2 so we don't run out of time here.